Hello everyone. Hi. Are you able to hear the background sound? If you can hear the background sound, just let me know. I'll close the window. Otherwise, let it be open. Please text in the chat box because there's construction going on. No? Okay. Then let it be. I'll have some fresh air. Okay. So, yes. Good evening. Yes, Arun. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, yes, good evening, Sachin, Sinchana, Pallavi, Kamirul. Yes. So, as you know, guys, my name is Ghazala Firdaus, and I'm the person responsible for your biology classes. And I'm so sorry for not being present in my last session. My health was really out of league. So, one of my colleagues had to take the class. So, yes, I hope she has completed multiple allelism and the pleiotropic pleotropy. So today we are going to finish off the polygenic inheritance and the chromosomal theory of inheritance. We are going to finish off these two, and I want your complete cooperation and with your attention. Okay, because without your attention, it's not going to happen very easily. Yes, Deepika, now it's better. Yes, thanks for your concern. So before starting anything, let me just take the technical check. Okay, just let me know if I have any technical issues or any issues from your side, anything like that. So if you don't have anything, then let's start this class without any further delay. Good evening, Shri Devika. Okay. So yes, guys, now let's start the class. Hello, everyone in the YouTube. Yes. So there's a question on the screen. Okay, the question says, the F2 generation of a cross produced in identical produced identical phenotypic and genotypic ratio. It is not an expected Mendelian result, can be attributed to independent assortment, very good Yashaswini, complete dominance, incomplete dominance, none of the above. Okay, so I'm launching the poll for this question. Do you want some time to look at the question and the options? Good evening, Ashwin KS. Hi. So I think let me launch the poll now. I have given enough time for you to understand the question. Hello, Jagasutan. Yes, Sinchana, you're absolutely correct. Yes, I'm expecting answers from both YouTube and Zoom people. Please look at the options once again. Okay. Here, what you have to notice is this identical phenotypic and genotypic ratio in F2 generation, and it is not an expected Mendelian result. Please think over non-Mendelian inheritance, where you see the identical phenotypic and genotypic ratio. Okay, guys, last 5 seconds. Very good, Shivraj. I'm impressed. Yes, Harshita. So I have given 50 seconds. I'm ending the poll now. Okay. So let me share the results. So result is somewhat like this. 62% people have chosen option C, 23% people have chosen option A, and 13% people have chosen option B. Okay. So I hope you have forgotten what I explained to you in the last classes. Have you forgotten or what? Okay. So let us understand. Here what they're asking is, in the F2 generation, there is a cross happened. Okay, so cross होके F2 generation में क्या हो रहा है? We are getting the identical phenotypic and genotypic ratio. It is not an expected Mendelian result. So one thing you need to know, so it is not an expected Mendelian result, matlab it is not included in the either monohybrid cross or dihybrid cross. So it is somewhere near to the non-Mendelian inheritance, right? So let me just write here so that for your better understanding. Okay, so what is the phenotypic ratio in the monohybrid cross? Can anybody tell me? So in monohybrid cross of the F2 generation, what is phenotypic ratio and what is genotypic ratio? And in dihybrid cross of the F2 generation, why we are taking only F2? Because in the question only they have asked the F2 generation. Okay, so what is the phenotypic ratio and what is the genotypic ratio? Come on, tell me in the chat box for monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Srinidhi, wait a second. Okay, so in monohybrid cross, the phenotypic ratio is very simple. You get the 3:1, 3 tall plants and 1 dwarf plant, and the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. So 1 is homozygous tall, 2 are heterozygous tall, and 1 is dwarf. Then what about the dihybrid cross? Okay, so in dihybrid cross of the phenotypic ratio, okay, so here it will be 9:3:3:1. Yashaswini, this is genotypic ratio. Nahi hai. This is phenotypic. Okay, you have written 9:3:1 genotypic, no? Yeah, very good. Now you are correct. Okay, then what is genotypic ratio? It's very simple. 1:2, 2:2, 1:2, 2:2, 4:2, 2:1. Okay, so I hope you remember the formula, right? So 3:1 whole to the power of 1. Okay, so that is the phenotypic ratio. So 1:2 whole to the power of 1 is the mono hybrid cross the ratio. So if you do this into 2, like whole 2 and the whole 1, then you get the dihybrid cross. So this is the cross that you are seeing. Now you're seeing anywhere. So here phenotypic ratio is different than the genotypic ratio and similar in the case of dihybrid cross. So either you take the monohybrid cross or dihybrid cross, the phenotypic ratio is dissimilar with the genotypic ratio. Then where do we get the similarity? So let me tell you, this happened in the incomplete dominance. You remember incomplete dominance? What had happened there? So incomplete dominance may you had took red flower is crossed with the pure line white. So you had crossed with the red and white. So in return, what did you get? In the F1 generation, you got this, the heterozygous, what do you call it? Very good, Simsana. This is pink. Okay, so this is the pink flower that you get. And if we cross, if we do the selfing between these pink, then what do we get? So this is the F1 generation. Okay, so then what happens in the F2 generation? The phenotypic ratio is very simple. That is 1:2:1, and same goes with the genotypic ratio. 1:2:1. So how did this happen? So कैसे हुआ ये जादू? Okay, so this is very simple, guys. Here what happened in the incomplete dominance, both the dominant and the recessive allele will express. Okay, actually what happened usually, so according to Mendel, it was supposed to happen like this. The dominant trait should express and the recessive allele should be masked. हो ना? तो recessive allele express नहीं होता है, dominant express होता है. But here in the incomplete dominance, what is happening? The dominant allele is not completely expressing and it is allowing and it is giving chance for the recessive to express. Hence, what do you see? You see the combination of both red and white to be the pink. Okay, so this heterozygous condition are you seeing? So this is a pink color. So same goes in here. So 1 red, 2 pink, and again one white. So this is actually the incomplete dominance. Okay, so answer for this question is very clear. That is incomplete dominance. See, इसके नाम में ही है, complete नहीं है. अगर complete होता तो मेंडेलियन का जो है ना complete dominance तो उसको resemble करता. But here what it is happening, the dominant trait is not completely dominant and it is not completely masking the recessive triad or recessive allele. Hence, you can see both the combination. Okay, then what is independent assortment? Independent assortment is one of the law given by Mendel. So what does it mean? So in independent assortment law, it says during the formation of gamete. Okay, so during the formation of gamete, when you take the two pair of contrasting characters, okay, so one allele is going to assort with the another allele of a different pair of contrasting character independently. मैंने आपको अच्छे से explain कराया था बेटा. If you take somewhat like this, okay, so यहाँ पे क्या होता है? This R can independently assort with Y. Assort means fusing or joining. Or this capital R is free to join with the small r. Hence, it will give the gametes like capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y. So this independence of assorting with any of the allele. Okay, so this is the independent assortment that is explained. Okay, so which is not related with this question. So complete dominance is very simple. What you are seeing here in the monohabit cross and dihabit cross, we have studied this. Okay, so this is also not the option. D is also not the option. Okay, so let's move ahead then. Let's move ahead. Right. So today we are going to study about the polygenic inheritance. Guys, this is one of the important concept which is loved by the examiners. ठीक है, examiners बोलते हैं कि अरे polygenic inheritance का question दिया नहीं दिया है तो पहले दो. ठीक है. So please, I want your complete attention here. So what it is? Okay. So let me explain you somewhat like this. So it is the inheritance. यहाँ पे कुछ definition दिया है बेटा. ये definition आपको जानना जरूरी नहीं है. Just to listen to what I am saying. Okay. So there is a chromosome. Okay. So this is a chromosome. So in this chromosome, there are many genes. Okay. So let me represent it as one gene. This is another gene. Okay. And this is another gene, and this is another gene. So here, this is gene number 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay. So usually what happens, this one gene, okay, so this gene 1 will do what? This will express, okay, so this gene will express a specific character. Okay, that might be a height of the stem. Okay, so height of the stem it might show. Okay, so ये हो सकता है. So even the second one will show some different character. Okay, so second gene will show like the shape of the seed. Okay, it will show the shape of the seed. So this is how normally happen. One gene is responsible for expressing one character. But in the polygenic inheritance, what happens? To express one character, there are more than 3 genes responsible, or you can say more than 3 genes controlling the one character. Okay? Did you understand? See what happened in the multiple allelism? There you had many alleles. Hai na? So many alleles which are coding for one gene. But here what is happening, there are several genes, they are showing the single character or they are expressing the single character. Okay, so if I erase this and if I explain you here, so this 1, 2, 3, 4 gene, okay, ये सारे gene beta, so 3 and 4, so all of them are responsible for the skin color. Okay, for the skin color. So just for the skin color, there are more than 1 gene responsible. So did you understand? This is called polygenic inheritance. तो यहाँ पे मैं आपको दिखाती हूँ बेटा. So poly means what? Poly means many. Okay, genic means genes. Okay, just for one character there are many genes responsible. Okay, so this is the polygenic inheritance. Now the best example can be skin color in the humans and human height. This polygenic inheritance is actually not involved in the Mendelian inheritance. Why? Because according to Mendel, if there is a gene, okay, एक gene है या फिर एक factor है, so for that factor there are alleles present, मतलब different form of allele. So for that one factor, there might be only two types of allele responsible. One is dominant allele, another one is recessive allele. If I give the example, capital T and small t. So capital T is the allele, okay, which is responsible for the tallness. That is, it is a dominant one. So small t is the allele responsible for the dwarfness and it is a recessive. So for a factor, only two characters are responsible. So this is what the Mendel had told. But here what is happening, there are more than one gene which are only responsible for the skin color. Hence this polygenic inheritance is actually, considered as the non-Mendelian inheritance. इसको आप non-Mendelian inheritance में consider कर सकते हैं. Ma'am, is this also blending? No. See, I'll explain Tejaswini, just have some patience. Okay, so this polygenic inheritance has the another name. It has another name. It's also called as multiple factor inheritance. Okay, it is also called as, I'll write here. So multiple factor inheritance. Why this is called as multiple factor? Because I told you, according to the Mendel, one factor which is having two alleles. But here what is happening? There are many factors. There are many genes responsible for only one character. अरे बाप रे, देखो ये एग्जाम्पल में दूं बेटा आपको. मतलब देखो एक बच्चा है, okay, one child is there and that child has 4 fathers. Like I know that's not practically possible, just I'm saying, okay, one child has a 4 fathers. So this is called as polygenic inheritance. Okay, so like this. So multiple factor inheritance. It is also called as multiple factor inheritance, and it has another name called as quantitative inheritance. It is also called as quantitative inheritance. All right, here it is also called as quantitative inheritance. Right. Ma'am, does each allele has equal contribution? Definitely. Sinchana, I didn't, complete my sentence. Let me tell you. So, the gene, okay, so there are many genes. Please listen, everyone carefully. There are many genes responsible, or many genes are controlled for a single character. Okay, and that character का जो intensity है, okay, the intensity of the expressed character depends on the how many genes are involved. If there are only 3 genes involved, then intensity is not that much. If there are only 2 genes involved, तब तो फिर भी कुछ भी नहीं है, मतलब बस थोड़ा कुछ. If there are completely 4 genes responsible, okay, or 5 genes responsible, something like that, then the intensity is very high. Okay, so the intensity of the expression of a character depends on how many genes are involved. Okay, Sinchana, I hope now I have answered your question. Okay, so then this polygenic inheritance is also influenced by the environment. Like you can say, in some areas like cold areas, like England is there, Australia is there, then Antarctica region, there you can see people are very fair, मतलब बहुत fair होते हैं बेटा. क्यों? वहां पे देखो sunlight ज्यादा नहीं आता, sunlight नहीं आएगा तो क्या कहते हैं, tanning won't happen, and they will be fair and sweet as always. But look at the people who are living in the very exposed, sun exposed load, like in the beach side. Okay, beachside people, or you can say the coastal area people. Okay, they will be usually little bit tan because it's the environmental influence. But not only environment influence, there is also genetic background present here. Okay, that we are talking about here. So what is the total number of genes? Like it depends on character to character. Okay, it depends on character to character. For example, if I take for skin color, there are three genes responsible. Okay, maximum of three genes. One gene में भी color आ सकता है, two में भी आता, three में भी आएगा, but maximum of three genes. Same goes with the height. Same goes with the height. Okay, now so let's move ahead. Now I want to introduce you to a special term. Okay, that term called as metric triad. Okay, so there is a term called as, again my pen is working not properly. Even though I changed my this one. Wait a second. And just remove the wires and that. Let me see now. Okay, so metric. Oh, smooth. Okay, so another concept or terminology I wanted to tell you is the metric triad. So what is metric triad, ma'am? So what is metric triad? So these triads are controlled by the quantitative inheritance. I will write here. So these are the triads controlled by quantitative inheritance. Now, triad means what? Triad means it is the character. है ना? तो triad क्या है? Triad is one of the character. I had told you. Character is eye color. Triad is different colors like blue, black, brown, green, gray. Yeah, नहीं है फिर भी. Okay, so character is the one and triad is responsible for the character. Now, so there are some character or triad controlled by the quantitative inheritance. Like I told you, right? If there is only one gene responsible, then kuch aur kaam hoga. If there are only two genes responsible, okay, in the inheritance, matlab like if I marry and if my baby has born, okay, so if my baby has only two dominant genes for the skin color, then the story will be different. If he has the only one gene, then it will be different. So it depends on the intensity, like three genes. Okay, so like this. So triads, or you can say character, is controlled by the number of genes. I told you, right? The intensity of the character is controlled by how many genes are involved. So did you understand now? Good evening, everyone. Vitamchi, Vishal, Gopika, Parna, Ashwin. Hi, Theru Rathod. If you have any doubts, please ask me here. Okay. Yeah. So now let us do the cross. Okay, हम अभी cross करके देखेंगे बेटा actually क्या होगा. So now let me take the polygenic means obviously it will be involving 2 to 3 genes. So I will have written here. So one is dominant and the another one is recessive. So this dominant is actually the black. I will write here. So this is black or also called as very dark. Okay. So this very dark or capital A, capital B, capital C. So this is dominant one. Okay, I will write here. So this is dominant. You can see all the 6 triads. There are 6 triads present, 6 chromosomes. All of them are dominant. And this is very fair. Okay, or you can see very light. मतलब बहुत गोरी है, ठीक है? Or albino. You can use the term albino. Okay, it's not wrong. So these albino is recessive. Okay, so let me just write here. So this is genotype and phenotype is very simple. This is homozygous, what you can say, black. Okay, so now we will take the gametes here. Gamete is capital A, capital B, capital C. So what will be the gamete of this? The gamete of this is small a, small b, small c. Okay. Now, if I do the cross, and what do we get here? So we get capital A, capital B, small b, correct. Then capital C, small c. Okay, we'll get somewhat like this. So what is this? So according to Mendel, it was supposed to be black, because what did Mendel say in the law of dominance? In F1 generation, you will get the heterozygous, and dominant to hai, or dominant hai, so obviously dominant will express. If dominant would express, then according to Mendel, it should be black. But no, here that's not the case. Here what's happening, you will get the different kind of result, but that result is called as intermediate. Okay, that result is called as intermediate. Hence it is a non-Mendelian inheritance. ठीक है बेटा, समझ जाओ. अगर Mendelian inheritance होता तो black आ जाता, but it's not coming black, even the presence of dominant. Okay, so this intermediate has a special name that is called as mulatto. Remember this, guys, mulatto. Okay, mulatto is nothing but the wheatish color which I have, which we Indians have. Okay, so this is wheatish color. We are not too dark or we are not too fair. Okay, we are the blessing of the God. That is wheatish color. Okay, मतलब इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि black और white वाले best नहीं है. They are also best, but we are more best. Indians are more best. Okay, so mulatto is the wheatish color, but this is the result of both dominant and recessive. So now you can see here, you can note one thing here. Look at the triads. Look at the triads. Here you can see 3 dominant triads and 3 recessive triads. Okay, so this are dominant. Okay, so these are dominant, and which is recessive? This. So these 3 are recessive. Okay, so you can see here. So because of 3 dominant triad and 3 recessive allele, so what do you get? You get the mulatto, that is wheatish color scheme. So this is the F1 generation. Okay, so this you get in the F1 generation. So now what happens? So if just for an example, if I say there is a crossing happen between a mulatto and the mulatto, matlab, like we Indians. Okay, so we have the wheatish color scheme. If I marry with another Indian, so what would be the complexion color of my child? Okay, so kya probability hai? Let us see here. So if you look at the cross here, okay, so this is intermediate one. Okay, you can look here. So this is intermediate. Let me change the color. So capital A, capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C, small c. So here you can say we are crossing between mulatto and mulatto. Okay, so this is just an instant to show you. So mulatto, like Indians are getting married. So what would be the probability? You can see here, you have got 8 gametes. So how many gametes did you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bapre. So you got 8 gametes. So probable gamete beta. If you do it in the trihybrid cross also, you'll get the same. Okay, then you get the 7 phenotype. I will show you which are the 7 phenotype, and you will get 27 genotype. Okay, you'll get the 27 genotype. So how is this happening? Let me show you that. Okay, so if you look at the diagram here the crossing is happening between the gametes. Okay, so gametes के बीच में यहाँ पे crossing हो रहा है. So you can see here there are 64 boxes. Okay, madam, only 6 gametes. Where 6 gametes? 8 beta. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sinchana, there are 8 gametes. 8 gametes towards up and 8 gametes towards the side. You remember, right? So in dihybrid cross, you got the 4 gametes. You remember, Sinchana? Yes. So in trihybrid cross, see, you have not done the trihybrid cross. तुम लोगों ने नहीं किया है, तो confusion हो सकता है बेटा. तो ये इतना टेंशन लेने वाली बात नहीं है. जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट. ओके, दैट मच इज एनफ फॉर यू. If you understand the concept, that much is enough. Now let me write here. So capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, capital C. So this is the one instance. Then what happened? Small a, small a, small b, small b, small c, small c. So what is this? Here you can see all the 6 triads are dominant. Okay, all the 6 triads are, or you can say allele, not the triad. You can say the allele or genes. Okay, so you can say all the 6 alleles are dominant, 6. Okay, so this will show, this dominant will show the black. Okay, so dominant है ना, तो black आता है. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? All the 6 are recessive. Okay, so all the 6 alleles are recessive. So it is showing what? Right? It is showing what? It's showing albino. Okay, so it is showing albino. So what about the intermediate ones then? Okay, what about the intermediate ones? Okay, so if you write something like this, okay, if I consider capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C, small c. So here you can see 3 are dominating, 3 are recessive. So this was mulatto or the intermediate one. Okay, so this is the intermediate or mulatto. Okay, so this mulatto is very common in nature. Okay, so we are also one of the type of mulatto, you can say, like we Indians, right? So now what happened? So in दोनों के दरमियान क्या है? ठीक है? So if I take the example where 5 are dominant, okay, मतलब any of the 5, like ये 3 dominant हो गए, 5, and this one might recessive, or this one might recessive. So any of the combination, there are many combinations involved here, but just remember only. Yes, I'll come back. Okay, अभी यहाँ पे देखो बेटा. So if 5 are dominant, okay, if 5 alleles are dominant, then what is the story? Okay, so this will be the dark, or you can say very dark. नहीं, very dark तो ये है, black वाला is very dark. Okay, so 5 dominant alleles are dark color. Then what about the 4? Okay, so 4 वाले में क्या कहानी है? This is fairly dark, मतलब wheatish color से थोड़ा dark. Okay, you can say like that. So this is fairly dark, light dark. हाँ देखो सृष्टि, we can use that. Okay, light dark. Yes. Okay, fairly dark or light dark. Okay, so here, so when there is the dominant there, then what about the recessive? So here, if 5 are dominant, 1 will be recessive, and here if 4 are dominant, then 2 would be the recessive. Okay, so this is the chance. Now let me write here then. यहाँ पे 3 dominant and 3 recessive is there, so I will write here 2 dominant. Okay, so 2 dominant. So what is the case for 2 dominant? It is fairly light or light bright. No, fairly light लिख देते हैं बेटा. Okay, मतलब the person who is a wheatish color, it's more towards the bright wheat. Okay, थोड़ा गोरे type, fairly light, I will say fairly light. Okay, light complexion. So if you have only one dominating character, see, as the dominant alleles are decreasing, the complexion is growing, like gore hote ja rahe hain. Okay, as the dominant alleles are decreasing, the whitish color is observed more and more. As the dominants are present more, then blackish shades will be there. Okay, so this is super light, or you can say just light. Okay, then you get the albino. So here same things happen with the recessive. Okay, so recessive here, if 2 are dominant, then 4 are recessive. Here 5 will be recessive. Okay, so now Look at the ratio. I know it might be a little boring for you, but please have some patience. Look at this ratio. So this is what? This is the result of F2 generation, if you have to say. So 7 phenotype. I told you, right, there are 7 phenotypes. So these are those 7 phenotypes. Which are the 7 phenotypes? Black or very dark. Then dark, fairly dark, then mulatto, intermediate, then fairly light, then albino. Okay, so here I will write. So this is black, this is dark, like dark complexion, this is fairly dark, and this is mulatto. Look at the mulatto concentration. There are many, 20% of mulatto. Okay, so this is mulatto, and 15% again fairly light, and 6% light. Array, again my pen को कुछ problem हो गया. Okay, light, and the last one is albino. Okay, so the last one is albino. Albino means वही जिसको सारा recessive characters हैं, मतलब all the recessive alleles are present. Okay, so yes. Now you can see here I have shown you the 7 phenotypes, but the genotypes will be 27. So you need not to write and observe all the 27 genotype. That is not really necessary for you. Just know that 27 genotype are present, 7 phenotype is present, and 8 gametes. Okay, so this will go with the kernel color of the wheat. Okay, so another one example for the polygenic inheritance is kernel of the wheat. Kernel color मतलब जो wheat का धान होता है ना बेटा, धान क्या बोलते हैं उसको, husk. Okay, kernel husk. So उसका color है one example. Then human skin color and the height of the person. Like I told you, right, there is not just a very tall and very dwarf. There are intermediate ones. Okay, similarly in the height also you will find many intermediate, like very tall, intermediate, dwarf, very dwarf, or recessive. So कुछ ऐसे होगा बेटा. ठीक है? So I hope you have understood. Now look at the graph here. Okay, if you look at the ratio of the concentration of people, मतलब कितने ratio में people हैं, so mulatto are very large in number. Okay, and these are the people, intermediate peoples, and this is completely albino. This one is recessive, that is albino, and this one is black. Okay, so this pure black and pure white are very rare. Okay, so mulatto are very large in number. Okay, so these people. Now, so this should be actually come first, लेकिन मैंने explain कर दिया है. So assume that 3 genes A, B, C. Okay, we have already done it. Just let it be a revision for you. So A, B, C are the 3 genes which control the human skin color. Okay, and the dominant forms are dark skin color, that is capital A, capital B, capital C. Recessive forms are A, B, C, small. Okay, light skin color ones. Okay, so you can consider this as albino and you can consider this as black. And these are the intermediate ones. Okay, better, these are the intermediate ones. Okay, so now. So obviously the dominant alleles will show the darkest skin color and the recessive alleles will show the lightest skin color. Okay, whereas when you see the 3 dominant alleles and 3 recessive alleles, there the intermediate skin color will come. That is nothing but our mulatto. Okay, now what is the name of dark complexion? You can call it as black Darshan. There is no specific name as albino. Like you say albino, right? As albino nahi hai, but you can call it as black or very dark. Okay? Yes. So we have understood this now. So I hope you have understood the polygenic inheritance. So this much is enough for your syllabus and for NEET purpose. Okay? Then mulatto is like, no, Harsha, you cannot use that word codominant. Okay, because codominance, like what is that? Codominance is another feature. Okay, where both the two, contrasting pair of characters are dominant. Okay, उसको यहाँ पे नहीं ले सकते बेटा. Mulatto is just an intermediate form. Okay, so there's a question on the screen. Which Mendelian idea is depicted by a cross in which the F1 generation resembles both the parents? Okay, so law of dominance, inheritance of one gene, codominance, incomplete dominance. Very good, I'm impressed. Okay, so I'm launching the poll now. Yes, yes, yes. Look at the concept. Look at the question. Okay, F1 generation resembles both the parents. Let me repeat. F1 generation resembles both the parents. Very good, Yashaswini. Yes, Jayan. So correct. Beautiful. Awesome, Monisha, Harshita. Great. Shivraj. Beautiful. Sinchana, look at the question, beta. ये मेंडेलियन आइडिया को छोड़ो. You look at the first generation. F1 generation resembles both the parents. Okay. Okay, guys. Last 5 seconds. Yes, Harsha. Yes, Soumya. Done. I am ending the poll now. Yes, Gopika and Ashwin, you are correct. You're so correct. Okay, so let me share the results. So 51% people have chosen option C, 23% people have chosen option A, and 14% people have chosen option B, and 12% people have chosen option D. क्यों यार? क्यों ऐसे है? No worries, we'll understand it now. So what they're asking is, I don't know, seriously, actually this question was asked in the previous NEET questions. Okay, previous NEET exams के question है बेटा. मैं वो ईयर वगैरह नहीं डालती, मैं भूल जाती हूँ कौन से ईयर में आया है, कब आया है, क्या है, मुझे भूल जाती हूँ मैं. But these questions are all taken from the previous examinations. Very few are like I made them myself. वो बहुत few होते हैं. Okay, so this which Mendelian idea is depicted? I don't know why they asked this, but they asked this to confuse you. I can definitely say that. Okay, so let's look at the second part of the question. By a cross in which F1 generation, okay, F1 generation resembles the both the parents. There is only one thing present, okay, which resembles parent, that is happening in the codominance. So what happened in the codominance? Let me change the color. So if there is a red color flower is crossed with a white color flower, whereas both of them are dominant. Okay, both of them are dominant. So R is the gamete, here W is the gamete. So what do you get in the F1 generation? You get RW. Okay, so this is what? This is actually the F1 generation. So how exactly will it show? Let me write here. Okay, ये ऐसा कुछ दिखेगा बेटा. Okay, so one of the petal might be completely white and some petal might be completely red. I hope you remember this. I had shown you this. मैंने आपको दिखाया था बेटा ये in the codominance where both the parents are dominant. Okay, so this is complete dominance. I had also given you an example of bird. Okay, so one complete blue bird and one white bird. Okay, so if you do the crossing between those blue and white, the body of the bird might be white, but the wings might be blue. Okay, then I had given you another example. What is that? I had given you a bull and cow. So red color bull and white cow, if you do the breeding between them, what do you get is a roan. Okay, a animal which has both the red and white patches. So this case is actually the codominance. Okay, इसको हम कहते हैं बेटा codominance. मतलब both the parents are dominating. So I hope you know what is incomplete dominance. I told you incomplete dominance is very simple. Where, so similarly, if you take the red and white color flower, okay, if you cross with red and white color flower, so what do you get? You get the pink color. I had already told you this in the first question when we discussed. Okay, so this pink color is actually representing the incomplete dominance. Okay, so incomplete dominance means where you get the pink color, where both phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio is similar, which is the wrong option here. Okay, then so codominance I explained you. Then inheritance of one gene. So inheritance of one gene is nothing but the single triad. Okay, study of single triad. So यहाँ पे single triad को consideration दिया है बेटा. Okay, so that is wrong. Okay, even though we have taken single triad, but that is not the concept. Then law of dominance. What did the law of dominance say? Okay, so in F1 generation, you will get the heterozygous pair of pair of contrasting character. Sorry, heterozygous pair. Okay, where you are going to find the dominant. Okay, so that dominant will express, है ना? But यहाँ पे वैसे नहीं हो रहा है. Here both the parents are expressing, both of them are dominant. Okay, so that is why law of dominance doesn't hold good here in this question. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Okay, now, so now we're entering into the second most important part of the explanation, that is chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so let me tell you something. Okay, so whenever I'm explaining, please listen to my explanation. ठीक है, बाद में तुम लोग स्क्रीन पढ़ना बेटा. I will give you this notes. Okay, आपको देने के लिए ही बनाया है. Ma'am, what is the difference between incomplete dominance and codominance? Sinchana, in incomplete dominance, the dominant allele is not completely expressed, whereas recessive will also try to express itself, where you get the pink color, that is capital R and small r. Okay, so in codominance, you are taking both the parents and their genotype is dominant. Okay, dominant genotype. And when you get the F1 generation, you will get the both expressions. Okay, somewhere white, somewhere red. Okay, so like this. So in the codominance, there is no blending of character, but in incomplete dominance, there is a blending of character. After blending, you get the pink color. But in codominance, you get one patch of white and one patch of red. Yes, Sinchana beta? Okay. Now, so Mendel had started his work in actually 18th century. Okay, so he started his work in the 18th century. So he was a person who was living in a church. Okay, he was living in a church or a monastery. So he was basically a mathematician, but he had an interest or love for the pea plants, or not exactly pea plants, but the plants. Okay, so he wondered. He had few questions. तो उसके दिमाग में कुछ ना कुछ चलते गया, and he started working on it. Okay, so after his complete work, many people didn't accept or understand what Mendel is trying to say. Okay, so why actually the work done by Mendel was unrecognized? There are few reasons. What is the reason? Communication was not easy. See, nowadays you have smartphone, you have all that sort of phone. एक message डाल दिया, hi, hello, सब हो जाता है. लेकिन in the time of Mendel, there were no publications. Okay, usually in today's day, if you do some research work, you can share it with the whole world by writing an article in the famous publications like Star Journal, Star Publications, like बहुत हैं बेटा. ठीक है, National Science of Technology कुछ journal है. If you write your article based on your research, whole world is able to see you, review it, and give the compliments for it. But in the time of Mendel, there was lack of communication, and he was not very confident also, might be. ठीक है, क्योंकि उसने पहला इंसान है जो being a mathematician he worked on the biologist, but still he tried to do his best, but people rejected him. Okay, so another reason is his mathematical approach was very new. Okay, so people said, "Arey, he's a mathematician, he cannot bring his mathematical approach in the our biology." Okay, biology is different, mathematics is different, so it was very difficult for the people to understand in the initial days. Okay, then concept of gene was factor. See, now we know that factor is a gene, and genes are present in a chromosome. Okay, and chromosomes are the unit of heredity. है ना? We know that. But in the time of Mendel, he didn't know anything about chromosome or anything about gene. He just knew something that there is something called as factor. वो factor responsible है for the inheritance of character. He just knew that. So that factor वाला thing was not influencing for many people, or it was not a very basic. ठीक है, बहुत लोगों को समझ नहीं आया बेटा factor वाला concept. And then he could not give the physical proof for the existence of factor. Okay, so factor, he is saying along with that he doesn't have a physical proof. Why? Because at that time there were no microscopes, there was nothing to show. Then how could he show? Okay, he is just giving the postulates or result by the practical experiments. You just know that. Okay, so because of few reasons, his work was undiscovered, but still Mendelian ना वो एक line बोल के गया है. I don't know in which language it is, either German or Latin, who knows. But उसका English में मतलब है, the meaning is my time will yet come. Okay, now you don't know what's my value and what's the work का value. Okay, so one day you will come to know. वो बोल के बेचारा मर गया in 1884. So in the early 20th century, in like 1900, so three scientists, De Vries, Correns, and Vaughan, they independently rediscovered the Mendel's result. Okay, so these three scientists, they were so much interested and they discovered, they did some work on it, and they give the result. So eventually the Mendel's postulates were present, but वो postulate को law में convert करने वाले ये तीन लोग हैं. Okay, so these three लोग, yes, अपना time आएगा, सबका time आएगा. So there is a something है ना, गली boy. हाँ, अच्छा लगता है मुझे everything. Well, now, so I want your complete attention, guys. I want your complete attention. So there were two scientists called as Sutton and Baveri. Okay, Sutton was the one person who was working on his, observation on the cell division. Okay, so Sutton was the person who was working on chromosomes. He was working on chromosomes. He was seeing how actually cell division is happening. Okay, so cell division कैसे हो रहा है, तो उसके ऊपर he was working. He saw the mitosis, meiosis, and all these things under microscope. क्यों? Because in the early 20th century, the microscope was invented and people can see the minute cells or small cells and the organelles in the microscope. So because of this microscope invention, it was easy for the Sutton to do the cell division work. Okay, so in the cell division, he was mainly studying about the meiosis. What happened to this? Okay, so he was doing the work on meiosis and he understood how actually the chromosomes are dividing, right? From mother cell, the chromosomes have to segregate to form the haploid gametes. So all these things he studied. And in the other case, Boveri was the person who was working on an organism called as sea urchin. Okay, so he was working with sea urchin and he saw the embryonic development. So how after fertilization, when you get the zygote, the embryonic development is happening, how and all these processes. So after observing all that, Boveri come to a conclusion that so for the embryonic development to happen, there should be a presence of diploid zygote. Like ठीक है, वहां पे कुछ diploid cell होना चाहिए जिससे सारा embryogeny चलता है. Okay, so whole embryogeny is undergoing because of this diploid chromosome. Okay, so Boveri said there should be a diploid present for the embryogeny, and Sutton, he observed the meiosis process. So both of them came together, they understood that yes, chromosomes are working in this way. Okay, so these people have observed the chromosomes and they compared their work with the Mendel's work. So what did Mendel say? Mendel didn't know anything about chromosome or anything. He just said factors. Okay, तो उनका factor आज का हमारा gene है. तो gene कहाँ है? Gene chromosome में है. ठीक है. तो what you have to study in this theory is just this: the behavior of factor or gene is similar to the behavior of chromosome. Okay, तो जो behavior of gene Mendel had given is fully similar to the behavior of the chromosome which these two scientists have studied. So after this complete study, what they did, they united the chromosomal segregation of the Mendelian principles and the work of the Sutton and the Boveri, and they called this theory as chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, theory of inheritance was given by Mendel, but chromosomal theory तो इन दोनों ने दिया है. तो ये सारे लोगों का वर्क मिला के they have given the name chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so this gene was a factor according to Mendel. This was just a factor. But इतना जो सारा research हुआ है, this has happened in the 20th century, which was done by the Sutton and Boveri. So now Sutton and Boveri are saying what? The behavior of gene or factor is similar to the behavior of chromosome. We will see that. Okay. Now, okay, before understanding this, let me show you this. So what are actually the similarities? I told you, right? There are similarities. Okay, Keru, definitely I will give you, but you won't be able to join beta. See, let me discuss that with my managers and I'll let you know. I'll get back to you with that. Please leave a hi message in the Telegram, Keru. Okay. So what are the similarities? The chromosome occur in pair. Okay. So chromosome occur in pair. Definitely. Why? Because chromosome started its division in the diploid stage. So this is one chromosome and this is another chromosome. So this is two chromosome diploid condition. But allele was just the factor. Okay, so Mendel had told one factor has two alleles. One is a dominant allele, one is the recessive allele. So this was told by whom? This was told by Mendel. Okay, so this was told by Mendel and this was told by Sutton and Boveri. Right? So here also they said a pair of allele, or you can say two alleles within the one pair of contrasting character. Here they took diploid condition, that is two chromosomes. Okay. Yes, Amit, very good. Here you can say similarity to the second law and also third law. मैं बोलती हूँ कैसे third law. Okay, Amit. Now the homologous chromosomes separate during meiosis. Okay, like pair of similar and dissimilar alleles of a gene separate at time of meiosis. Like I had told you, right? So even though there might be a homozygous or heterozygous condition, but the formation of gamete is pure. Okay, so half of the quantity, or you can say half of the content of the allele is going to the one gamete and half of the content will go to the another gamete. So that is why you can say there is no blending of character. Okay, alag gamete hai, there is a different gamete, there is no fusing or blending. Hence you can say this is a law of segregation and also can say law of purity of gametes. So gametes are pure without any blending, and you can see from a diploid, okay, if it is a capital T small t, you get two gametes, okay, which are very independent and dissimilar in the case of heterozygous. Yeah. So this is happening in the both, chromosomes also. So in chromosome also you have studied the meiosis and mitosis. Okay. So if there is a pair of chromosome, what happens there? So they will divide. So they will divide to give only one chromosome. If it is a diploid, you will see the haploid. Okay. So like this. Good. Now, then different chromosomes orient and separate during meiosis show parallelism with the Mendel factors. I showed you right here parallelism. Okay, this is the parallelism. Okay, then fertilization restore diploid number of chromosomes in the fertilized ovule. Now, the gametes formed are haploid. So these haploid gametes will again become diploid at the time of fertilization. When these two will fuse, what will happen? Okay, so this becomes the zygote. Okay, so that zygote is again diploid. Yes, so this might be whatever the thing. So you can consider it as a mother cell if it is undergoing cell division. Okay, cell division undergoing हो रहा है, तो mother cell से gametes बन गए. So these are gametes. So from gametes, again fertilization happened to get the zygote. So this is how, similarity in both factor and chromosome is observed. Okay. Now, look here. So chromosomes are actually the vehicles of heredity. Okay, इनको बोलते हैं vehicles of heredity. Why? Because they are the responsible for showing the heredity characters, or you can say the inherited characters. Now, two identical chromosomes form a homologous pair. So definitely, so like in the alleles. So alleles में आपने देखा था homozygous, heterozygous. If TT was there, you call it as homozygous. If T small t was there, it was heterozygous. Like, so यहाँ पे क्या है? In the case of chromosomes, there are homologous pair, but there is no heterologous pair, just a homologous pair. Okay. Now, so here, let me change the color. Okay, so here, this is the paternal side. Okay, so this is the paternal side of chromosome, like father's chromosome. Okay, and this is maternal, from the mothers. Okay, now what are these? This is nothing but the replicated, this is nothing but the DNA content or the genetic material present in the gamete. ठीक है बेटा, ये gamete के अंदर का खजाना है. Okay, or you can say gamete is forming because of this genetic material. Okay, so one has come from the parental and one has come from the maternal. Okay, so now they will do the replication. देखो बेटा, for a diploid to happen, okay, for the diploid to convert into haploid, so there has to be undergo a meiosis process. So meiosis process में क्या होता है? So if you are doing the meiosis of a diploid, you get the 4 haploid, right? You get the 4 haploid. So how would this 4 haploid will come? There should be enough genetic material. So that enough genetic material is obtained by the process of replication. Okay, replication होगा. तो यहाँ पे जो सिंगल आपको क्रोमैटिड दिख रहा है ना बेटा, now you will see it as the double chromatid. Okay, so this is the homologous pair of chromosomes. Okay, so one from the maternal and one from the paternal. Now, please concentrate here. Okay, so I had explained you by writing the chromosome variations when I explained you the monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. मैंने आपको क्रोमोसोम में भी लेके एक्सप्लेन किया था. क्यों किया था पता है? क्योंकि आज आपको डिफिकल्टी फील ना हो. Okay, you should not feel difficult today, hence I did that on that day. So now we will see how the factors which were told by Mendel are actually carried out in the form of chromosomes. Okay, so you can take the picture here, you can see what's happening. I want to shut my pen. पता नहीं यार इस क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. Let me see. Okay, so here you are again taking a dihybrid cross. Just for an example, I'm seeing. So you have taken a dihybrid cross. Okay, so here you have taken again homozygous yellow round and green wrinkled seeds. Okay, so yellow is the dominant seed color and green is the recessive seed color. Round is the dominant seed shape and wrinkled is the recessive seed shape. Now, so these have to undergo meiosis. है ना बेटा? So these have to undergo meiosis. So after meiosis, the gametes are formed. So these are the gametes, and these gametes will undergo the fertilization process. ठीक है, तो अभी फर्टिलाइजेशन होने के लिए बहुत सारा काम है बेटा. तो ये क्या हो रहा है? Just look here. Okay, so this is the chromosomes that you are seeing. Okay, so one is the capital R, another one is the small r, and capital Y, small y. Okay, so after the, let me tell you this. F1 generation में हमको capital R, small r, capital Y, small y मिला था, है ना? I hope you remember that. So now what we are doing the selfing of this. Okay, we are doing the selfing of this. So we are doing selfing of this. Now what you are seeing here is capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Here also capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Okay, so now these are undergoing meiosis to give the particular gametes. Okay, you can see the gametes here, but before that, just see here. Okay, So yeah. So here meiosis has started and this is the metaphase 1. So what happens in the metaphase? In metaphase, the chromosome will align in the equatorial plane. Okay, so equatorial plane में align होते हैं यहाँ पे centrioles हैं या spindle fibers हैं which are actually pulling the chromosomes towards the polar region. So when the chromosomes align in the equatorial plane, that is in the metaphase, when the chromosomes are started to pulling towards the polar end, that is the anaphase. Okay, so you can see here metaphase 1 is now shifting into the anaphase 1. Okay, so here there will be the centrioles or you can say spindle material which is pulling the chromosomes. Okay, so this has happened. So after this, what do you get here? So after anaphase 1, we see this is continued here. Okay, so this is continued here. I will write here continue. Okay, so after the anaphase 1, you get the what? Haploid cells. So you have already got the haploid cells here. So those haploid cells will again undergo metaphase 2. Okay, so these are the again haploid cells that you're seeing. Okay, so these will undergo metaphase 2 to give the gametes. So these are the gametes, guys. So you have already know, right? For the this one, for this heterozygous condition, what are the gametes? Okay, तो मैंने आपको बोल दिया था, but उसी चीज को आज आपने क्रोमोसोम में देखा है. So this one will fuse with 1A and 1B. Okay, and this 2 will fuse with 2A and 2B. So this is actually the independent assortment, right? So one allele will independently assort with the another allele of a different pair of contrasting characters. So I will write here capital R, capital Y. Okay, then capital R, small y. Okay, then small r, capital Y, small r, small y. So these are the gametes that I had told you. So just look here if all the 4 are present. Do you find all the 4 gametes here? Yes. YR, yes, present. Small y, small r, yes, present. Capital Y, small r, yes, present. Small y, capital R, yes, present. So these are the gametes that you see. Okay. So now you can see and cross fertilization. We did the selfing here, right? We crossed the F1 with F1 here. I told you. So we did the F1 selfing. So the product that you get is 9:3:1. So among them, there is a round yellow, there is a round green, wrinkled yellow, wrinkled green. Okay, so this is how you see the chromosome. We have already seen. Beta, when I explained you the dihybrid cross, same thing I written there and I explained you everything. Okay, so just you saw here, the same thing is given in your book also. Okay, in your book, you can see this. Okay, chromosomes are again vehicles of heredity. So they have the identical chromosomes, we call them as homologous pair, and they segregate during gamete formation. So देखो बेटा same चीज यहाँ पे repeat हुई है. Okay, so this is capital R, capital Y, small y, and they give rise to the gametes. So these are the gametes. So this is how the pair of chromosome or a homologous pair of chromosomes are getting segregated to form the gamete. Did you understand? So आपके बुक में इसको बहुत अजीब तरीके से दिया है. Okay, it is given in NCERT very different way. I don't know why he gave that to confuse the students. It is very simple, guys. So this is meiosis 1 and this is meiosis 2. If you go and read the 11th standard book, okay, 11th ka, if you see the book of meiosis 1, okay, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, you will understand what they're trying to explain here. Okay, and these germ cells are nothing but gametes. Okay, so this is nothing but gametes. So the possibility will be this and that. So here the possibility of attachment is independent. Okay, so that's what is given here. If you see here, law of purity of gamete and the law of segregation is also holds good. Okay, so it is also similar. I'll write here. See, okay, so the formation of gamete, okay, formation of gamete is not blending and it is pure. Okay, so half of the material is gone to the one gamete and another half to the another gamete. This was the law of segregation. Then what did the law of independent assortment say? Okay, so the alleles of the gene, okay, on non-homologous chromosome assort independently during the gamete formation. So this is the non-homologous chromosome. Okay, so in this non-homologous chromosomes, so one of the chromosome can fuse with the another, okay, without any restriction. So it is very easy to fuse or assort during the gamete formation. Okay, so here you can see that some are dominant, some are recessive, some are recessive, some are dominant. So this is what you need to study about this. So now I hope you have understood. So this is how the Sutton and Boveri, along with the Mendel's work, they have given the theory, chromosomal theory of inheritance. Okay, so what did they say? What was the aim of the theory? They said that just this, the behavior of the gene or factor is similar to the behavior of chromosome. इतना ही है बेटा. वो बस कैसे हुआ वो इतना chromosome में बताया है. मतलब all of this. Now there is a person called as Thomas Morgan. What he did, he confirmed the theory that is given by Sutton and Boveri is so true. How did he prove that? He worked on a organism called as Drosophila melanogaster. So uska work mein he just proved how the chromosomal clear inheritance has happened. So for his work, he took a material that is, I told you, a fruit fly. Okay, so why did he took the fruit fly? Like we have seen in the Mendel's work. So Mendel took the pea plant because there were few characters which were really helpful for the Mendel. है ना? So short lifespan. Okay, there are 7 contrasting characters, so something like that. Here also, so Drosophila can grow in a synthetic medium, and the life cycle is very, very short, and breeding can be done all over the year. It doesn't have any breeding season. Okay, then hundreds of babies can be get. Okay, if one sexual intercourse has happened, one meeting has done, then you get hundreds of progenies. So it will be very easy for you to study. Then male and female flies can be easily distinguished. Okay, males are very smaller and female are very, very bigger. Okay, and it has many hereditary variation that is also seen and studied with the lower power microscope. See, at that time there was low power microscope only. Nowadays we have electronic microscope, we have binocular microscope. Okay, all sort of microscope we have on this day, but at that time they had very basic at low power microscope. So उस microscope में fruit fly को study करना was a easy task. Okay, that's why he took the Drosophila. Now, what exactly he did so that he confirmed that what Sutton and Boveri said was true. Okay, so he just crossed between the two fruit flies. Okay, he crossed between two fruit flies. Which are those fruit flies? Okay, one is red-eyed female. Okay, red-eyed female and white-eyed male. Okay, so here you can see this. This represents the Y. Okay, so I hope you know in chromosomes, among the chromosomes, there are 2 types of chromosomes. One is autosomal chromosome, another one is allosome or sex chromosome. Okay, so autosome or somatic. Okay, and second one is allosome or sex chromosome. So in the male Drosophila, so in the Drosophila, there are how many what is that? Allosome chromosomes. There are 6 somatic chromosomes. There are 6 somatic chromosomes. There are 6 somatic chromosomes. अरे इसका फिर से शुरू हो गया यार. So in the fruit flies, what is the genetic makeup? So this is actually called as karyotype. Do you know karyotype? Karyotype is like the diagram or the labeling of how chromosomes are present or aligned. Okay, so 6 are, ma'am, you have written, sorry, Likit. The lower one is allosome. Thank you. It happens sometimes. So this is holosome. Okay, so 6 are somatic and these 2 are sex ones, sex chromosomes. So sex may, if there is a XY present, then it is a male. If there is a XX present, then it is a female. Okay. Now, so he crossed between a red-eyed female with the white-eyed male. So when he did the crossing, what did he get? Okay. So in the, so these are gametes. Let me change the color. So these are gametes. So what did we find in the F1 generation? We found all the red eyes. Okay, so we got red eye, both. Okay, so among them, 2 are male and 2 are female. Okay, then if we cross between the F1 generation, okay, if you did the crossing like this is the female one and this is the male one, if you cross between the F1 generations, so what did you get? Okay, so these are again gametes. So in F2 generation, so in F2 generation, you are getting the phenotype. Okay, so I will write the phenotype here. Okay, so you are getting the 3 red eye. Okay, and 1 white eye. Okay, red. Okay, and 1 white. Okay, you can see here. You can see that, right? So 2 red eyes are female. So among them, let me change the color. So among them, 2 red are female. Ma'am, here red is dominant. Yeah, you can say that. Okay, so these red are female. See, this is actually related with the linkage and recombination. Abhi, what I'm explaining now, actually this is related with the linkage and recombination, which I'll be doing in my next class. Okay, तो वहां पे हम पढ़ेंगे, but यहाँ पे तुम सिर्फ इतना देखो बेटा. So look at the ratio here. Okay, in the phenotype you get the 3:1. That is 3 red and 1 white. Okay, so among them 2 red are female, 1 red is actually male. Okay, 1 red is male, and again another 1 white is male. Okay, so what is the ratio here? So this is the 3:1:3:1 kind of ratio. Okay, so you can see that, right? So 2 red females, 1 red male, and 1 white male. Okay, so this is how actually the Morgan supported the chromosomal theory of the Sutton and Boveri. Okay, so I hope I have cleared the concept. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, see, this one is really not present in your syllabus. आपके syllabus का तो बिल्कुल नहीं है बेटा. सिर्फ they have given that Morgan has worked based on the Drosophila melanogaster and he has just confirmed. इतना ही दिया है. But मैंने आपको कैसे किया है वो भी बताया है. So in my next class, I will do I will complete the linkage and recombination because it is related to that. Okay, we will see the how sex linked things are present. Ma'am, female fruit flies are always red eye. Yeah, but here you are getting the red eye male also, Soumya. So that's why I told you. Now you keep your questions in your mind because we are going to complete that in the linkage and recombination. The next concept, linkage and recombination. So there's a question on the screen. What is somatic? Linkage in your body, like if I tell you in our body, we have 23 pair of chromosomes. Okay, so we have 23 pair of chromosomes. Let me launch the poll. तो मैं यहाँ पे लिखती हूँ, एक सेकेंड. So in 23 pair of chromosomes, okay, so in 23 pair of chromosomes and 46 chromosomes, right? So in humans, we are talking about humans. So among this, 22 pairs, okay, so 22 pairs are actually somatic. Okay, 22 pairs are autosomal chromosomes or somatic. Autosomal or somatic, and only one pair, either XX or XY, is the sex chromosome. Okay, agar XX hai, so it can be considered as female. Okay, so if it has the XY, then it is considered as the male. Okay, so it is considered as male. Okay, so these two are actually the sex chromosomes. Okay, so sex chromosome matlab the gamete beta. Who asked this question? Sex chromosome here refers to the gamete like sperm and egg. Okay, then the other pair of chromosomes present, they're all present in your body other than the sex chromosomes. Okay, so आपके जितने भी cells हैं ना बेटा, आपके eye के cells, skin cells, whatever the cells present in your body, so they are the, see, what is the use of somatic? See, whole your body is made up of somatic chromosomes, beta. Okay, if you have any wound, like for example, if I say there is some kind of wound happened, so that wound will not be like that. It will be healed. Eventually, it has to heal. So for that healing process, there is a lot of cell division happening. In that cell division, the diploid kind of chromosome will undergo replication and cell division to give rise to the new cells. So these somatic cells will help in the healing process of any wound and formation of new skin and the formation of new cells. Okay, so I'm sharing the result. 79% people have chosen option C and 7% people have chosen all the other options. I don't know how they choose it, but still. Right. So this is a very easy question. Thomas Hunt Morgan worked with the Drosophila melanogaster. Okay, he worked with the Drosophila melanogaster. With the pea plant, actually Mendel worked. Okay, Mendel worked with the pea plant. Snapdragon is actually the example for incomplete dominance. See, what are the other examples for incomplete dominance? For the incomplete dominance, I took the example of 4 o'clock plant, antirrhinum, or you can say snapdragon. So all of those are examples for incomplete dominance. Okay, so incomplete dominance. Then cockroach ko kisi ne nahi liya hai, and I'm scared of cockroaches. So let's see. Now I am launching the NPS, guys. Please give your valuable feedback. Let me tell you one thing. Your feedback is what keeps here. Okay, so if you want a change of teacher or something like that, give a very less feedback. If you don't want any change or any kind of disturbances, then just give a good feedback. It really means a lot. Yeah, 4 o'clock plant. Yeah, so the 4 o'clock plant is actually क्या बोलते हैं बेटा उसको? Thank you, Harsha. So that plant में क्या होता है बेटा? In the evening time, the flowering is happening there. Blooming of flowers will happen. Okay, that's why the name of that plant is a 4 o'clock plant. एक सेकंड बेटा, मैं उसका नाम भूल जाती हूँ. They have not given you the book yet. It's in my mouth. It's not coming, यार. 4 o'clock plant मतलब एक plant है बेटा. ए Mirabilis jalapa. Thank you, Likit. You are a savior. Mirabilis jalapa. Okay, so मुझे होता है ऐसे कभी-कभी I don't get the names so easily. Okay, guys, I have ended the NPS. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay, so yes, YouTube people, yes, answer is correct. Now, what is the difference between multiple allelism and polygenic inheritance? Let me give you that. Okay, मैं आपको समझाती हूँ एक मिनट बेटा. So this is your homework. So let me write here. In multiple allelism, what happens? In multiple allelism, and this is polygenic inheritance. Okay, in multiple allelism, more than 2 alternative alleles are present for a one character. Like I will tell you. Okay, so more than one allele. Like there is a gene. Okay, in the blood group gene I is present, and this gene has three alleles. Okay, so this gene has three alleles A, B, and I. So these are the alleles. Then what about polygenic inheritance? In polygenic inheritance, there are many genes. Okay, there are many genes which is controlled and give only one character. Okay, so character might be a skin color. Okay, so many genes are responsible. Okay, so like if I write a chromosome here, okay, if I write a chromosome here, so one gene, two gene, three gene, four gene. Okay, so it is same present in the diploid. अगर मैंने diploid लिया है तो same ऐसा ही होगा बेटा. Okay, so this is many genes in one pair of chromosome. Then what about multiple alleles? So here what happens? Okay, here what happens? In one pair of chromosome, only in one part of gene. Okay, तो एक gene के part में यहाँ पे there will be many forms of alleles. Okay, so here this might be this, or this might be of this color, or it might be of this color. Did you understand? So these are three different alleles. So three different alleles in a same locus, in same loci. Okay, so three different alleles, same loci, where the gene I is present. So in सारे location में बेटा gene I है. But यहाँ पे देखो there is one gene, two gene, three gene, four gene. So there are different location, different genes, and these many genes are responsible for giving only one character. Okay. I hope Monisha, did you understand बेटा? समझ आ गई बात? Ma'am, why mango seed give rise to only mango plant, not other? See, Shivraj, this is actually the first question that NCERT asks you, because mango plant has one genetic makeup. Okay, so that genetic makeup is present only in the offspring of the mango only. Okay, the genetic makeup present in the mango, you cannot find it in the watermelon. And the genetic makeup present in watermelon, you cannot find in any other. Hence, the watermelon will resemble the watermelon only in the next progeny, and mango tree will resemble the again mango fruit and another generation in another generation. Okay, so all of this is happening because of the genetic material. Okay, so there are variety of genetic materials. So, can we say somatic is the carrier of genetic material other than sex? Yes, Likhit. Even somatic, chromosomes are also carrying the genetic material, but they are not responsible for the inheritance. Okay, let me tell you, Likhit, clear difference hai beta. Somatic chromosomes will, have the genetic material. Okay, so but they will not responsible in the inheritance. Inheritance में कौन आ रहा है? Only you can say the autosomal. Okay, so autosomal or the inheritance. Why? Because from the father only Y is coming or X is coming, and from the mother only X is coming. So that is the inheritance. Inheritance is because of sex chromosome. What is the reason of Mendeleev taken Punnett chart? शिवराज, मेंडल ने ना बहुत इजीली बोल दिया था बेटा, लाइक क्रॉसिंग होता है. ओके, इफ आई से लाइक दिस तो आप कितने बनाते बैठोगे बेटा इन अ ट्राई हैबिट क्रॉस एंड डाई हैबिट क्रॉस? if you plot a Punnett square, it is much easier. Okay, it is much easier to understand. Okay, so the basis of understanding के लिए Punnett square डाला गया है बेटा. Okay, so that you can understand very easily. Are there any other doubts? If you don't have any doubts, then we'll leave the class. Yes, people in the YouTube can also ask. Yeah, is blue not visible here? Let me change some different color. Okay, let me write white. So these are the three different elements. Yeah, ma'am, is there any exceptions? Like we can see sheep has given birth to monkey. Is it so? I don't know about it. Sheep has given birth to monkey. Why would sheep give birth to monkey? There might be a crossing thing happened, but I don't know, Sachin. Sorry, Likit. I'll get back to you with this. मैंने कभी नहीं देखा मतलब एक बकरा बंदर को पैदा कर रहा है. Or sex chromosomes only present in gametes? Definitely, definitely, Sachin. मतलब sex chromosomes are present along with the different ones. But what I'm saying is for the inheritance. See, inheritance character के लिए sex chromosome is only responsible. Okay, Sachin, gamete में बहुत सारे chromosomes होते हैं बेटा. Right? So what is the reason behind the Mendel's law? Shivraj, did you not attend my first class? Well, let me tell you once again. Mendel had the doubt. ठीक है बेटा, Mendel को doubt था कि all the inheritance is happening, like a father and mother are giving birth to a baby. Okay, so वो birth हो रहा है and some of the inheritance is happening. Characters are inherited. So on what basis these characters are inherited, and what is the logic? On which logic, on what logic does this inheritance is happening? So Mendel gave us the answer of how inheritance is happening by his Mendel's laws. Okay, Shivraj? Yes. Are there any other doubts? Yes. When lamb was resembling like a monkey baby, I saw in a newspaper article when I was young. I will get back to you with that. Okay, Shivraj? I will see. Not Shivraj, sorry. Look, लिख it. I will get back to you with this, बेटा. क्योंकि मुझे तो याद नहीं है मैंने कब पढ़ा होगा इसको. But एक lamb giving rise to a baby, monkey baby, we'll see that. Okay, guys. Take care of your health. Tomorrow I will be doing reproductive health revision. So let me try to get the Kahoot. Okay, we will do the quiz in Kahoot, and also if you have any doubts, ask everything. Please read today. Go and read the contraceptive methods. Okay, then how contraceptive pills work. Then what are the femdoms? Femdom के बारे में पढ़ो. Then diaphragm, walls. ठीक है, तो सब चीजों के बारे में रहता है. Then art. Okay, assisted reproductive technologies, which I had explained to you. सब कुछ पढ़ के आना बेटा. We'll do the revision tomorrow. Is male has no sperm, that means he has no sex chromosomes? No. That is wrong. Sachin, if a male doesn't have sperms, then he doesn't have sperm. That's all. Okay, but he will have the sex chromosomes. Okay, so formation of sperm is different than having the sex chromosome, beta. Ma'am, we will learn about mutation in the next classes. I will explain you the frame shift mutation, point mutation. Okay, there are many other types of mutation, silent mutation. Okay, then deletion, addition mutation. Okay, palindromic sequences. We will study everything. Okay, so now we'll just leave the class because time is already done. Okay, guys, so take care. Bye bye.